You did a podcast for us a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and I didn't know who was on there. I guess the Ram. I guess he calls himself the Ram, but I know him as Steve. What's his full name?
Silverman.
Yeah. So was he the one that somebody told me that they had just got out of jail? Was that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, okay.
that's him for sure, man. But I know you do compete, right? I mean, you have been competing and you still compete, right?
March 26th was my last show. So I decided after that I'm done.
What organization do you represent?
I competed in the NPC.
They've never contacted you and basically, told you that they're against what you're saying, publicly about steroids and Synthol and all this other stuff?
I've never had a direct message from the NPC or IFBB, never, not once, nope. But I've had like promoters contact me and stuff saying that I won't be politically looked at fairly. And then at my last show, I had 3cc engraved in the back of my head. I guess I didn't like that too much.
You use steroids, openly. You don't deny it in any way, but is that against their rules?
I think in one of their contracts on the website it says you're not supposed to. We do not condone the use of steroids. Like they word it properly where they're saying we're not going to test against it, but we're not for it. You know what I mean? But obviously everybody in the NPC and IFBB, at least the males that are competitive at the high level, are using. No,
right, absolutely. But just nobody openly talks about it while they're actually competing.
I was the first one that openly came out about it after I won the Contra Costa in 2013. And it's funny, man, because the same guys that were writing on my Facebook or commenting on my stuff saying you're going to go to jail for openly talking about your steroid use, the same guys literally are coming out with their own podcasts talking about their steroid cycles. All of these guys that used to come down on me saying I'm going to get arrested, I'm an idiot, they saw how much attention it brought to my name, and those same guys now are doing the same shit now. Doing the guy from Geared Up podcast, Adam or whatever. He used to bash me completely for it, and now that's what he runs his site on, is basically guys talking about steroids and shit. So it's kind of funny.
But is it safe to say that you will never be able to become a pro and actually be an IFBB?
Correct, but I've never wanted to be. That's never been a goal of mine ever. I'm done competing. I'm happy I'm done competing. There's less stress in my life. I'll continue to be a bodybuilder, but there's no reason that I need to get on stage again. I like the process, and it does push you that much harder when you pick a show and you know that you're going to be standing against a group of people. But as far as the added benefits, for me, there's no added benefits, and I don't like the whole ending process of the tan, the dehydration, and plus I don't have the genetics to ever be a great pro where I can make money doing it. You know what I mean? So it's just not, and no real passion in it for me.
I feel like you get a lot of love and you get a lot of hate, right? Which one do you think you get more of?
See, it's hard to tell because I've never had any hate in person. I've never once had an issue in person. You know what I mean? I've never had a confrontation. I've never had somebody come up to me and say, I don't like your shit, what the fuck? Or whatever. It's always positive stuff in person. So you're going to get those trolls online that talk shit behind a keyboard, but I don't know, man. I would say right now I'm getting more love than hate. I would have to say that. There's been a point where I think I've gotten more hate, last year or 2015 when I bombed my show. I was probably getting more hate than love for sure.
What would you say is your mission in the industry? Is it basically just to educate people about various types of substances and synthols and just basically teaching them how to use it properly?
I would say my main goal is to eventually have the voice, meaning build a pro level physique, in the next few years where people could come up to me and be like, wow, that's what it takes at that level for a guy with average genetics. Because, there is that genetic elite that don't have to run that much drugs, and they could, like Dexter Jackson, for example. He hasn't really put on that much muscle in the last 10, 12 years that he's competing. But he gets from the training, muscle maturity, all that stuff. He doesn't have to run that much gear. I mean, he's probably on minimal stuff. But we're not talking about the genetic elite because that's very rare. What do the Justin Comptons and the Dallas McCarvers have to take? You know what I mean? That's what people really want to know.
Unless you're really competing and take it professionally, why would you ever need it?
The two things in bodybuilding I love the most are nutrition. like trying new foods around your workouts, timing of foods, all that stuff, and drugs. So I personally strive off, okay, I'm going to try this cycle. Okay, I like that. I'm going to try this, or let me try this. So I know what to put my clients on for later. Like for example, before I put my clients on anything that could be potentially dangerous, like DNP, I'm going to experiment it with myself and see how I like it. I've ran it with moderate carbs, I've ran it with low carbs, ran it with high carbs, low fats, everything. I've tried everything really. And I'll be honest with you, I would never, unless the time comes, if I need to come off gear to have kids, I won't come off gear. I've came off gear before, and it's like 2 steps forward, 2 steps, backwards, So for me, it's just not worth it.
Your clients, this is your primary business. Your clients are primarily amateur bodybuilders, somebody who just want to get big for looks, or who are they?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I only take 5 competitors at once. Right now I have 7. And I have over 100 active clients. I would say 95% of my clients are just people with a goal, which is awesome because I like that. I don't like the whole industry. I don't like the whole competing. And, I even stress out when I have prep clients and stuff like that. So I have my ideal client is a guy that, has a wedding in 3 months and wants to drop 50 pounds and look good for his wedding. Those are the clients that are my favorite personally, and I have a ton of those. I have a lot of people that come to me super overweight. I have a ton of kids that come to me super skinny that just want to put on 15 pounds. I don't really have that many competitors, which is good. I'd rather stray away from the competitive scene.
Do all your clients take substances, or do you have somebody who's completely drug free?
I used to take drug free clients. I used to, and I stopped. Because it's just not my forte, you know what I mean? It's not my forte. So I would say right now I have one client that's not on anything, and I have over 100 active. I've been working with that one client that's been natural forever, so I decided to keep coming to them. But if somebody wants to come to me naturally, it's just not my forte, man. I like fast changes. I don't want to see my clients checking every week with, minimal results because they're natural. I want my clients to make some extreme changes in 12-week periods, and they do. So that's why I try to stray away from that.
Why do you think some people are strongly against steroids?
I don't know, man. I understand why people are against crack and heroin because it makes you into a different person, meaning you act different towards other people. You're intoxicated. You don't take a shot of steroids and you're not high and do dumb shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I honestly, man, if somebody is a cokehead and they're completely fine, treat everyone nice, don't fucking do dumb shit. I don't care. But if you take a hit of crack or something and go rob liquor stores, then there's something fucking wrong. You know what I mean? And if you take a steroids and you think that shooting steroids causes you to beat your wife, get off the fucking steroids. You know what I mean? I think steroids have a bad rap, first of all, because they're an injectable. Anything dealing with needles, people get kind of weird about. And there's no real research done on them. It's not really open to the mainstream. You know what I mean? It's not open to the public. So they don't really know much about it. So they just think, oh, steroids, needles, growing bigger muscles. They think you just take a shot of steroids and you just build muscle and you look like a freak. You know what I mean? Which is not the case because I guarantee you 85% of the kids or the people at the gym I go to across the street are on steroids and you would never even know. You know what I mean?
What is the worst adverse reaction you had to steroid?
My gyno when I was younger. I used to lactate. I could push my nipple down and shoot probably 5 feet of fluid. That was probably the worst. Yeah. And then I got my glands cut out. That didn't feel shitty. It's just kind of weird that you could just shoot, this toxic waste that smells like fucking, it's just gross, man. You just shoot out of your nipples. Actually, the first incidents, man, this was crazy. I had puffy ass nipples. I didn't know what was going on. I was 17, and it wasn't from injectable steroids. It was from the pro hormones that were legal back then, and they're actually steroids, but nobody knew. So I was in the gym, and I was strong as hell, bloated at 17. I was probably 240 at 17, bloated. Put the dumbbells on my chest, come back, I lay back, and I do a few reps. Right, come up like this, rack the weights, and I had a white shirt on. And all of a sudden, I see this green stuff all over my shirt. I go, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh, the dumbbells are wet. They must be dirty, Then I do another set. They hit my chest, and I'm doing it. And then literally my whole white shirt is just covered in this green shit. I'm like, what's going on, right? Then my ex-girlfriend at the time hit my chest, And I looked at my pajama shirt, and I had all this green stuff everywhere. I'm like, what the hell? So I go in the bathroom, playing with my chest, and I'm just squirting all this kinds of shit out of my chest, dude. And yeah, that was definitely the craziest side effect I've ever had.
Wow. Did you stop using it, that specific substance, after that happened?
Oh no, I was still using it.
You
I was
just
still using it.
so you just didn't care.
First and foremost, the rivalry never. Me and Ronnie have always been extreme friends, fierce competitors on stage, but we always had a mutual respect. And probably out of all the bodybuilders, we're probably the closest. So there was never no type of animosity or anything like that, And furthermore, Ronnie has came out publicly a billion times and point blank said if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have ever won. So I've told quite a few people everything I told Ronnie, and up and coming bodybuilders too. None of them look like him.